fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Welcome to What the Fuck Are You Reading with Kali and Kaci,
a podcast and book club for all of the book lovers and shit talkers.
Hi, fuckers.
Hi.
Oh, wait, that's not how I start the episode.
That's okay.
Hi, Kaci.
We're all new here. Hi.
How are you today?
I'm good. I'm about to go to the Dominican Republic and I'm pumped up.
And I'm considering calling into work tomorrow. Have you seen that video? Or I sent it to the group chat where
yes.
the husband is sitting like pressing beep on the microwave and she's like, "Hey y'all, I'm in the hospital."
Beep. Yes.
100% like that is going through my mind on how to get out of work tomorrow.
I have not even said this yet, but I'm unemployed. I quit my job, so I'm not calling in anywhere.
You know what she is going to start doing? She's going to start making some fucking reels because I'm real bad at them. So she's going to do something to help get y'all engaged.
Yes.
And, you know, like, I'm not trying to be whiny or anything, but can y'all fucking comment or post on some of our shit so that I quit, like, it hurts my self-esteem?
Y'all, social media is the hardest part about this podcast, and neither one of us are good at it.
Like, we don't enjoy it. But we have been told time and time again in all our research that it's necessary, like, just to help with your growth and whatever. Yeah. And we do want to grow. Like, we want to reach more people. It's just that making the videos, making the posts, like, is not our cup of tea.
And when you work an hour on it and get one like, and it's like each other.
Yeah, Kaci, I really like what you did there. Yeah, it kind of sucks.
Okay, so. Kali, tell me what the fuck happened.
Okay, so I'm going to tell y'all a little story about whenever my husband and I were dating. So he had two large, very large outside dogs. They were labs. Like, when I say big, like, one of them was like 150 pounds.
Yeah.
Humongous. So I go outside one morning to, like, leave for work or just go. Anyway, I went outside and there's a dead possum in the driveway. It's not like it was in the yard, not in the road. It was in the driveway right beside my car. And I'm like, "Oh, but okay." Like, I'm not.
Oh, but ew, I've got to go.
So I take a closer look, and there are baby possums crawling all over it.
Oh, it was their mom?
Yes.
Oh.
And I mentioned the dogs because, I mean, I can't prove it, but I assume that one of the dogs unalived them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I jump into action. Like, I cannot leave a baby animal, period.
Y'all,
like,
she actually has a disease.
I cannot leave an animal in need. Like, I will pick it up off the road. I will take it home with me. I'll adopt it from the shelter. Like, it's just a thing. I cannot do it. My heart will not let me do it. So I get a box and I put the little baby possums into it and I bring it into my husband's home. We were not married at the time. I go into the guest bathroom. I put some towels down in the bathtub. And then, so I'm like Googling like what I need to do. And so that's what it said to do is like put some towels down that they can like burrow into and hide into because they're marsupials and normally hide in a pouch. And they were so tiny, like one fit into the palm of my hand. And I'm going to send a picture to Kaci of this possum that she can put in the show notes, okay? Just to show y'all how tiny it was. And there's a bunch of them. There's like 6 or 8 of them. And so I tell my husband what happened. He is fucking pissed that I brought these into the house. Like, he's thinking that we're all going to be diseased.
Yep.
And
possum infestation in your house.
Rabies and whatever. And I'm like, okay, like, we can break up over this if you want, but I've got to help them. And so I get on Facebook and get on to different groups. And I'm like, okay, I found these baby possums. What do I do? And so many people reached out wanting them. And I'm a person who I have tried to rehome stray cats and dogs like 100 times, and it's impossible.
Yeah.
You can't get somebody to take a cat or a dog.
Mhm.
But everyone, I had people fighting
And, like, for what?
over these possums.
What do you need a possum for?
People have pet ones.
People are so weird. Anyways.
I gave 2 to one of Noah's classmates at the time had a pet possum, and they wanted more. So 2 of them went to her. The rest of them went to, like, a wildlife rehabber or whatever.
Wow.
Who would, because they eat funny, like, that's why I didn't even know what to do, because they almost use, like, their mom's nipples are super long, and it's like a feeding tube. They, like, swallow the nipple. It
So you
goes
can't
down.
feed them regularly.
You can't just feed them with a bottle. You're not supposed to. So I didn't know how to proceed to keep them alive, and I couldn't just, like, watch them suffer in my yard. So I'm able to get them to where they need to be that day. But literally me and my husband, like, almost split up over it because he was so pissed. And he's like, okay, if I've learned one thing, it's that when I leave for work, if there's a dead possum in the yard, like, I'm going to move it out of the way before you see it. And, like, you're a dick. But, I mean, yeah, like, I would have to not know about it to not intervene.
Yeah.
Because
wait, please. I know that you already just told one story, but please tell the story about how the possum in your backyard and your cat was.
So I had a cat named Egg Roll, and this cat was not a cat that I adopted on purpose. Like, we had, at the time, we lived in a house that had a cat door. We bought it like that. And I just woke up one morning and went into the living room, and there was a cat there. So, like, I put it back outside. Next morning, I wake up, there's a cat there. Like,
she said, y'all my owners now.
So we just had this cat all of a sudden. And I mean, I took over the vetting and everything. Like, she was my cat from then on. But she was a very wandery, roamy cat. Like, she was not happy inside. Like, she would go in and out and always come back and whatever. And one day I did figure out how to lock the cat door finally. But she was outside and she starts, like, scratching on the window, like trying to get into the door. And I'm like, what is wrong with her? And I look behind her and there's a possum eating her food on the back porch. And she's like, bitch, let me in.
Please,
let
there's
me
some
in.
crazy fucking animal out here.
So possums are common in Louisiana.
That is hilarious.
Oh, possums for people who aren't from Louisiana, but you can't say it like that here.
Yeah, no, we will look at you like you're crazy.
It's a possum. So, and so that's what the fuck happened with my animals.
I was at Mom's this past weekend. There's kittens all over at the Watson's house.
Oh my gosh. Are they being taken care of?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh Lord, I can't handle it. My heart can't handle
Uncle
it.
Tommy actually said, don't tell your sister about this.
So the book that we are getting into, that we're starting the series, or not the series, but it's the second book, but we're starting our podcast series on, is Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. And we're assuming it'll take multiple episodes because the first one did. Maybe not quite as many because we've already done the world building in the first book.
So should have a better understanding of it this time.
So with that being said, if you have not listened to the podcast series on One Dark Window or actually read it, you're going to want to pause and go do that.
Yeah.
Because
the book left us on, like, a pretty big cliffhanger. So, like, you don't want to go into this not knowing what's going on.
And it starts off right where we left off.
Oh, I can't wait.
So,
this is One Dark Window, which is the first book, is, like, one of my favorite books of all time since I read it, because it is just that good.
And it is very good, but it's also a little dark. And I say that like it's not a feel-good book.
Yeah, no, it's not.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, it has been a little bit difficult because I'm in a place right now where I need feel good, but the book is very good. So Anyway, here we go. We start the book with Elspeth still lost to the nightmare. So when we left off, Elspeth,
as far as we knew, she was like no longer there.
She's no longer in her mind. Like, she's in her mind, but it's not coming out of her body. Like, the person who is talking out of her body is the nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants out. She is just in this nothingness. And eventually, a man in gold armor comes to her and says, Elspeth Spindle, I've been waiting for you. And she knows exactly who it is because he's got the gold eyes. Plus, she's seen him before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like, she has already encountered him.
Yeah.
But that is our prologue.
Okay.
So, part 1, to bleed. So, Raven is in the room with the one dark window, and he's digging at the base of the stone pillar. His hands are bleeding with how hard he's trying to get into the ground. So, I'm not sure if it's magic or just hard dirt, but he is not making much progress in his digging. He now knows that the Shepherd King is buried beneath the stone in this chamber because Elspeth told him. Really, the nightmare told him through Elspeth. Elspeth is no longer in the building, but like those yellow eyes are shining through. And this will take me back to I had trouble with the end of the last book with the pronouns.
Yeah, because you're like, do I say she, he?
Do I say she? Do I say he, hey, them? Because I just want to be able to differentiate. If I slip up on that, that's where I'm going. Like,
Okay.
It's really the nightmare is the one.
Just Elspeth's body, nightmare's soul.
Yes. So he eventually finds the grave marker in his digging. Raven does. And he keeps digging and finds a sword. So I assume that this is the Shepherd King's sword.
Mm-hmm.
But how about the Twin Alders card?
Yeah, is it under there somewhere?
We gonna find that? Because that's also where we left off in the book. We're missing one card.
Yep.
We're missing the Twin Alders card to have it reunite the deck with the Blood of Salt, which is gonna be somebody's gonna get fucking sacrificed.
Yep.
Then that's gonna save. It was gonna save Emery.
Mm-hmm.
But now the nightmare has said that they sacrifice themselves.
Okay.
That they can free Emery and use him instead.
Yes.
Which is like, okay, like easy for you to say. It's not your fucking body.
Elspeth's in the head going, no!
Raven finds a body, assumedly the Shepherd King's body, when he's digging. So dead body or not, his soul is currently residing inside of Elspeth Spindle. So Raven steps out of the chamber, and a young girl calls out to him. Something is not right about this girl. Her clothes don't move with the wind, and her eyes are super yellow. So weirder than all that is the fact that Raven is using the mirror card, which makes him invisible.
Okay.
But she can still see him. She says her name is Tilly, and she's doing what she's always done, waiting. The consequence of using the mirror card too long, in case you don't remember, is that it unveils the world of spirits.
Yes.
So this little girl's a fucking ghost.
Awesome.
Raven asks her if she knows who is buried there, and she's like, duh, it's my father. And by the way, have you seen him? He promised to find her when he passed through the veil, except he never passed through the veil, did he?
Mm-mm.
He's stuck in Elspeth's head.
Yep.
Before that, I guess he was stuck in the nightmare card before she touched it.
Yeah.
It's not just Tilly either. Her whole family are spirits waiting on their father to come through the veil. So they slaughtered all these little fucking kids.
Yeah.
Brutal. So Tilly noticed that Elspeth's eyes were yellow, and they're the same as her father's eyes.
So when he was perfectly healthy, his eyes were yellow? Like, you need to go get that checked out.
Yeah. And now Elspeth's eyes are fucking yellow. Like, you got jaundice, bitch.
That's what I'm thinking. You need to go get your shit checked out.
Got liver problems.
Yeah.
So Raven asked Tilly how her father died, and she didn't know because they caught her first.
Oh.
Which is sad.
That
gave me
sad.
chills. Poor little girl. So then Raven asked who killed her, and she said Rowan.
Oh.
Which Raven already knew. His uncle's lineage is, like, soaked in blood.
Yeah.
So Tilly tells Raven that they will keep waiting until her father's task is done. The Shepherd King's plan is to right wrongs, free Blunder from the Rowans, and collect his due. Period. So chapter 2, Prince Elm rides up to Hawthorne House. The king sent him to look for Elspeth Spindle's missing family. And there's no one there, though. Like, they're smarter than that. So I suppose now that Elspeth is in custody, her family is also in hot water. So what's this going to mean for Ione? Like, is she still going to be engaged to the fucking dickweed?
Ugh.
So the house is not completely empty because Ione is in there. Eric Spindle, which is Elspeth's dad, in case you forgot, and her uncle Tiernan Hawthorne, which is Ione's dad, were put in chains by Raven after Hoth was carried away, looking like a bloody mess. Because in case you remember, Elspeth fucked up Hoth.
Yes, scratched them all up and shit.
She killed the physician.
Yes, as he deserved.
And Hoth is, on the verge of death. Jesper had taken off to warn Elspeth's Aunt Opal to flee, and Elm used his scythe card to make Nerium and her daughters leave as well.
Okay.
But Ione came back for some reason. So Ione seems to be missing everything that happened. She's wondering where her family is and her fiancé. I'm like, well, your fiancé is a bloody pulp.
Yeah.
But still alive at this moment.
I'm sure his personality is still the same.
And your family is all on the run. And now
you're
here,
fucked.
And you about to be brought in. So Ione asks what Hoth did to Elspeth. And I'm like, oh, you fucking care now?
Yeah, no shit.
You have been a complete cunt this whole time. Ever since you started using this maiden card. So one of the destriers says that Elspeth only got what she deserved.
That's rude.
Prick ass prick is what I wrote. Because
prick ass prick.
Like, what you mean she only got what she deserved? Like, he was up there fixing to ruin her life.
Yeah.
And he got what he fucking deserved.
Period.
So something's not right with Ione. I don't know if she's been using the maiden card too long or what, but she is not the least bit scared. She is completely emotionless, actually.
Okay. It did say that the maiden card makes you cold.
So Elm is telling her that he'll have to bring her in to be questioned, which likely involves torture, but she's just like, okay, cool. She leaves with him with no struggle at all. Chapter 3, Elspeth is back with the knight, and he tells her that his name is Taxus. So we went the whole first book without knowing this motherfucker's name. It's Taxus. Taxus.
Don't like it.
She's so far gone that she literally doesn't even remember her own name, except that he tells her. And he tells her their story. There once was a girl, clever and good, who tarried in shadow in the depths of the wood. There also was a king, a shepherd by his crook, who reigned over magic and wrote the old book. The two were together, so the two were the same. The girl, the king, and the monster they became.
Okay.
And let me just say, I get real tired of all of his fucking riddles. But I'm afraid they might be important.
Yeah.
So my question is Elspeth the only girl that they're talking about? Because it seems like there was also a girl in the past. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so I'm not quite getting that.
Okay.
So Raven is back in the dungeon. He's going to fetch Elspeth for the king. The king wants to question her about the Twin Alders card again, which is probably not a good idea because she is unbelievably vicious and strong now that the nightmare has completely taken over her. And she could probably rip that motherfucker to shreds.
And should.
So Jesper is with him, and he tells her to go get a chalice card and meet her at the king's chamber. So they're about to give her the damn truth serum, which is not good news for anybody involved, except that I think that the nightmare might be immune to that.
Yeah.
So we'll see, I guess.
He did help her overcome it when they were at that party where, who was, Hoth gave it to him?
Yeah, but she also got poisoned from it.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I don't know, we'll see. So when Raven gets to Elspeth, he doesn't even pretend like it's actually her. Like, she carries herself differently, talks differently, has different eyes. He uses his nightmare card to go into her mind, but he can't find her there either.
That sucks.
He asked if they are really the Shepherd King. Elspeth answers noncommittally, just saying they called me that name once. And Raven asked what she called him. And Elspeth said she saw me for what I truly am, a nightmare. So Raven asked if they, and then I go back to talking about like they, them, whatever. So Raven asked if they will bring him to the Twin Alders card.
Okay.
And he says he will, and that it's not far, but it's further than Raven has ever gone before.
Okay.
So what does that mean? We going into different realms? Like we about to open up a portal? We about to, like, get into some more sci-fi shit that's hard for me to
Write
stay on
about.
track with. So he tells Raven that he's about to step into the old Book of Alders. Like, literally, because one review I read said that the magic system did get more complex, but I don't know if I can get behind him, like, jumping into a fucking book.
Yeah.
So we learn, at least I think we're just learning this. I don't remember this from the last book, but we learn that the Twin Alders card gives its user the power to speak to the spirit of the wood.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really remember either.
So that sounds pretty fucking useful. Can we tell her to get rid of the goddamn mist?
Yeah, the mist that makes people go crazy and kill themselves, please.
Mm-hmm. Raven is prepared to pay anything. He will do anything to get Elspeth back.
No.
So Raven tells the nightmare Elspeth that they are not to harm the king so that nothing jeopardizes Raven taking them in search of the Twin Alders card. The king has not fully agreed to the nightmare's offer of trading his life for Emery's at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And Raven does not want to jeopardize that offer.
Mm-hmm.
Raven shackles the nightmare Elspeth to bring them up to the king, and a voice in his head tells Raven that Elspeth is dead. She died 4 days ago because he was 10 minutes late back from patrol, which, it's gotta be bullshit. Like, her body is alive and well, and her mind is in there somewhere. She just gotta be let back out.
Mm-hmm.
So he's hearing this voice because he's been using the nightmare card too long. It's his own voice. That's the consequence of using the nightmare card too much, is it, like, brings out your worst fears.
Your own nightmare, yeah.
So Raven asked Nightmare Elspeth if he was there while they were intimate.
Oh, no.
You know, like, I gotta admit, I would be wondering that too.
Safe.
Like, were you
Where do
here?
you go when I poop?
Yeah, were you here while we were doing, like, the unspeakable shit? Like, you couldn't have made yourself known then. I might not would have done that thing with my tongue. So...
Yes.
So the nightmare just kind of sneers at him, and Raven chokes them up against the wall.
Okay.
I'm like, this is still your girlfriend, bitch. Like, be gentle.
Yeah.
But he's not actually going to do anything since it's still Elspeth's body. Like, don't kill her. She's still in there. And the nightmare's like, if it makes you feel any better, she's the only one that liked you. I'm not a fan of you at all.
Yeah, that makes me feel great.
So the nightmare tells Raven that he created a place in his mind to hide and get some peace. It's like a secluded shore along dark waters, and he would go there himself in the past to give Elspeth some alone time, which is, I put, maybe that's where he went when she was shitting.
Yeah.
So, like, we had the same thought. Regardless, that's where Elspeth is. Raven tries to threaten the nightmare, saying that he will tell him how to reach Elspeth, but the nightmare just laughs and gets all philosophical, saying, I know what I know, my secrets are deep, but long have I kept them, and long will they keep.
Okay, dude.
Whatever the fuck that means. So when they get up to the chamber, King Rowan is not there. And I'm like, because why would he be? Like, he only called for them to come up there.
Yeah.
So Raven went down the hall looking for the king. He stepped into Prince Hoth's bedroom and almost puked from the smell.
Ew.
Blood, body odor, like probably infection, honestly. Like,
Okay.
the king was in there and drunk. Like, he's been drunk ever since Hoth got attacked. So,
Okay.
like, that's one way to cope
I
with
guess.
things. Hoth is basically a vegetable at this point. Like, even the king's nightmare card can't reach him in his mind.
Oh, no.
Raven describes him as being destroyed worse than a wolf would have torn their meat apart.
I don't like that description at all.
So I don't think he's going to make it, to be honest.
Oh, darn.
Seems like that'll be good for Ione.
Yeah.
Because I sure wouldn't want to be married to him. So the king goes to question the nightmare using the chalice card. And he asks the nightmare Elspeth how they know where the Twin Alders card is hidden. And the nightmare's like, I mean, easy. Like, I was there when the card disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know exactly where I left it.
Yeah.
So Jesper asks where the card is hidden.
Please,
and
God, just tell us.
the nightmare responds, deep within a wood with no road. Okay, well, that's going to be easy to
dude.
find. The king asked if Raven was aware of her infection. And the nightmare lies and said that Raven knew nothing of her magic until it was too late. So it's kind of the truth, but like twisted. So Providence cards do not affect the Shepherd King. even in Elspeth's body.
Nice.
Which is a plus.
Yep.
And if you recall, the only cards that Raven can use are the Mirror, the Nightmare, and presumably the Twin Alders, which is not all bad because they also can't be used against him. So the king asks who all knew of Elspeth's infection. The Nightmare doesn't throw any of Elspeth's family under the bus, but I would have thrown stepmom under the bus.
Yes.
Saying.
As fuck. She knew the whole time.
Then he asks if she can actually see the Providence cards, and the Nightmare says yes, and that he will find the final card as long as the king honors his side of the bargain by releasing Emery to his parents. And the king's like, fuck yeah, tell me where the card is, and I'll release the damn kid tonight. Shit. So then the Nightmare gets all riddly again and says this. Listen closely. The journey to the 12th card will 3 bars take. The first comes at water, a dark mirrored lake. The second begins at the neck of a wood, where you cannot turn back, though truly you should. The last part waits in a place with no time, a place of great sorrow and bloodshed and crime. No sword there can save you, no mask hide your face. You'll return with the Twin Alders, but you'll never leave that place.
Okay.
So who in the shit is volunteering to go somewhere and never leave?
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck is that gonna work?
I'm sure the king is like, I will sacrifice 3 men. It's like Lord Farquaad.
All of my nephews.
Yes. I don't really like them anyways.
So, chapter 5, Elm is still on his way back to Stone with Ione, and it's pouring rain. And I'm like, I'm out. Like, I cannot stand to get my clothes wet.
No, like, the thought of my feet getting wet.
Absolutely not. So Ione asks him if Elspeth is okay, and Elm doesn't know. He asks Ione if it bothers her that Elspeth fucking destroyed Hoth. And she's like, nah.
Nah, she was crazy.
I've been in relationships like that too, girl. So seems like Elm might have had a thing for pre-maiden card Ione.
Okay.
He was looking her up and down now, and therefore he missed all the highwaymen that were standing in the road.
Yeah.
So what the hell do they want? Like, let me guess. A fucking Providence card.
Yeah, which one y'all want?
That's
Pick a card,
all
any card.
anybody wants in this damn book.
No money, no jewelry. Give me your cards.
So they tell him to put his hands up, and if he touches his scythe card, they'll shoot him. With a bow and arrow, we don't have guns in this world.
Oh, God. I don't know which one I would prefer.
I would prefer a bullet. I'm going to tell you right now. Like, I'll prefer something that'll do me away quick.
Ugh.
Ione reaches into his belt and grabs his scythe card. Like, because she's behind him on the horse or whatever. So she's able to, like, secretly, like, reach in, grab his scythe card. And Elm does not like this at all. Like, he doesn't want anybody touching his scythe card. Like, that card is his whole identity.
Yep.
So the men tell Elm to give up his scythe and black horse cards. If he throws in the maiden card and Ione, they'll let him keep his horse.
Please.
And like, fuck you, dude. Like, we don't go trade women for shit.
For horses.
So Ione puts the highwaymen in their place by using the scythe card to make the one with the bow and arrow shoot the other one through the throat.
Period.
Elm chased after the one who did not get shot and used the black horse to get the strength and punch the guy in the face. Elm turned around to a third highwayman with a bow. And the stupid-ass highwaymen haven't figured out that Ione is the one with the scythe card yet. Like, they're going after the wrong person. So Ione makes him kill himself by stabbing himself up through the chin with an arrow.
Oh my God, that just like, my body just reacted to you saying that.
Yep, so that takes care of that.
All right, back on the road. Let's go.
So Elm pulls the dead bodies into the woods. He doesn't even know these men, and they just died for Providence cards. Ione still has a hold of his scythe card, and she wants to barter for him to get it back.
Oh my God.
And honestly, like, I don't really blame her. Like, he's on the way to take her back to the king, who's probably going to torture her, even though she did not have anything to do with Elspeth hurting Hoth.
Mm-hmm.
But I bet Elm's little crush is going to go away.
Uh-huh.
Like, after this.
Real fast.
So she says what she wants in exchange is for him to convince the king to give her free reign of the castle. She says she saved his life, and now it's time for him to save her life.
Okay.
So, chapter 6, we're back to Elspeth. She's starting to remember things, and she asks Taxus to let her out, which is, remember, the nightmare's actual name.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
And he says soon, like, okay, you're probably a fucking liar.
Well, and he's also like 600 years old, so what does soon mean to you?
Mm-hmm. So, Elm and Ione make it back to Stone. He gets her up to a room to change out of their wet clothes. And it seems like he's definitely still into her, like, despite all of this.
Mm-hmm.
He's pissed off at her, but he's also, like, super attracted to her.
Mm-hmm.
So are Elm and Ione going to be our great love story of this book? I'm still hoping that Raven and Elspeth are able to continue their romance, but, like, I wouldn't mind having a second.
Same.
So Raven busts in the room, surprised to see Ione and now worried because she was supposed to be long gone from here.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to see anything bad happen to Elspeth's favorite cousin. He tells Elm that he found the Shepherd King's grave. So then this Destrier Linden, who was an asshole, if you remember from the first book, he is the one that
From the market?
Elspeth slices his face.
Yes, and we thought he was dead, but he was not.
So Linden comes to summon Ione for her inquest. They're going to use the chalice on her as well as on her father and uncle. So they're going to be questioning all three of them.
Okay.
So Raven asks Elm, why didn't Ione disappear with the others? But Elm doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Elm would have liked to use the scythe on her to make her flee like the rest of her family, but the other Destriers had already seen her.
Yeah.
So he didn't have a choice but to bring her in. So Elm pulls Raven aside and tells him how Ione saved his life with the highwaymen. Like, he is in debt to her.
Mm-hmm.
And Raven says that he won't lie for her, but Elm says that he will.
Okay.
So Raven tells him, like, it's a lost cause and that she's going to die.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think Elm is going to take that for an answer, though. He is really into Ione.
Okay.
So they bring Ione into the throne room, which seems like it's going to be more of a torture chamber, and they shackle her and bring in Eric, Spindle, and Tyrn Hawthorne, and all the Destriers are there also.
Okay.
So King Rowan tells the room that Elspeth Spindle is charged with high treason for being infected. In addition to that, she killed physician Orith Willow and attempted to kill Prince Hoth. She has been found and sentenced to death.
Jeez.
Found guilty and sentenced to death.
Your Honor, he deserved it.
Mm-hmm. Your Honor, he was a fucking dick. So the purpose of this inquest is to find out how much a part of her that her family played in these crimes.
Okay.
So Tyrn is acting like a fucking bitch about it too. Like Uncle Tyrn. We already didn't like him because he was like selling off his daughter to get different Providence cards or whatever to get into the royal family. And then he's the one that ratted out Elspeth's infection in the first place. But so he's whimpering and moaning, and he is a very unlikable person, and he's not gaining any sympathy from me.
Nope.
And he doesn't give a shit that Elspeth is to be killed. Like, he just cares about what this means for him. Like, I don't even think he gives a shit about his own family. Like,
he apparently does
his
not.
wife and kids. And so Tyrn, Eric, and Ione are also charged with treason for aiding Elspeth. If the rest of their family is found, they will be charged with the same. So the three of them were forced to drink the truth serum. So first they asked Tyrn if he knew about his niece's infection. He tries to lie, but it's impossible. So after they slap him around a couple of times, like, he says, okay, yes, I did. I knew. The king asked Eric and Ione if they knew of her magic regarding the Providence cards, and they truthfully answer no. They didn't know that she could see Providence cards.
Yeah, well, nobody did. So.
So the king asked Eric if he trained his daughter in combat. They're wanting to know, how the fuck is she so able to beat the shit out of all these men?
Because they don't know that she's able to do that through... Wait, they don't know that she's not herself right now, right? Only Raven and his people know?
I think that they do know that the nightmare is taken over, but they don't understand the consequences of it. Like, they don't understand that, like, none of her abilities are really her abilities.
Mhm.
Like, they're all the nightmare's abilities.
Mhm.
Like, he's just able to act them out through her body.
Mhm.
So that's what he was so confused about, how Elspeth was able to beat the fuck out of all these men so completely. So then the king starts questioning Ione, asking if she knows where the rest of her family is. No, she does not. And if she knew that Elspeth was infected. Yes, she did.
Mhm.
So she also says that Hoth never asked her anything about her family or anything else, actually. Like, he didn't give a fuck about her.
He's like, "You're just hot."
Then the king asks how Elspeth and Hoth ended up in a room together alone in the first place.
Mhm.
Tyrn admits that Hoth wanted to speak to her and he arranged it. So now not only is the king pissed at him, but his brother-in-law Eric,
Mhm.
her dad, Elspeth's dad, wants to fucking kill him.
Yep.
Like, you brought this fucking brute to my daughter?
Yeah.
Elm takes his chance then and uses his scythe card to make Tyrn say that he delivered Elspeth to Hoth so that he could deal with her infection swiftly to save Ione's reputation. So this is Elm trying to save Ione.
Okay.
He also makes Tyrn say that if he is lenient with Ione, she will keep the gossip down in the court and prevent people from knowing what actually happened to Hoth.
Okay.
Which the king is a very vain man. Like, he doesn't want people gossiping about him and, like, making him seem
Yeah.
like he's not in control or
Checks
anything.
out, but whatever, dude.
So Elm is doing his best to keep his part of the bargain with Ione. Like, her own father isn't doing anything to try to save her, so Elm will make him. And the king is, like, so arrogant that this might actually work.
Mhm.
So while everybody is focused on pussy-ass Tyrn, nobody is paying attention to Eric, who wraps his chain around Tyrn's throat. He's like, I'm about to fucking kill you, dude, like, for what you did to my daughter. So he's choking him with a chain. And Eric is able to twist a dagger out of one of the destrier's hands and holds it to Lyndon's throat, asking where his daughter is. And I'm like, I think this is maybe not the best time, Eric.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
and you haven't been the best dad anyway, but, like, now you're gonna try to, like, be dad of the year.
Mhm.
So all hell breaks loose. Everybody's fighting. Ione is about to get crushed in the melee, but Elm gets to her and presses her against his chest, and Elm uses his scythe card to order the whole room to be still.
Oh.
So he stops
Yeah.
this chaotic fight. So, chapter 11, Raven is getting his eyebrow stitched up where Eric clocked him during the fight in the throne room. Spindle and Hawthorne have been returned to the dungeon. The king demands to speak to Raven alone and tells him that he will follow Elspeth to find the Twin Alders card, and if he tries any funny business, Emery will be banished to a cell. Elm will not be allowed to accompany them. He is now likely to inherit the kingdom, with Hoth being incapacitated.
Mhm.
So the king is not going to risk his life. He's never gave a shit about Elm before as his second son, but now he's important.
Yep.
So, however, Raven needs someone to watch his back, so he requests that Jesper come along. King allows that, but says that another destrier is going to go as well, and it's Gorse, which I don't think we've come into
Gorse?
his name is Gorse.
Ugh.
And I don't think that we've come into contact with Gorse before.
No, I'd remember a name like Gorse.
Yeah, but the Gorse is definitely one of the king's men. Like, he's going to be there as a spy, basically. So it's probably going to put a little damper on their plans.
Mhm.
So Elm goes to see Ione. Like, she had her hand sliced open during the fight, so he wanted to check on her. But when he looks at her hand, it's completely healed. And this is actually mind-blowing news.
Okay.
Because the maiden does not just provide beauty, apparently.
It heals?
Also heals.
Holy shit.
So it would be much more sought after if people knew that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So the reason Ione went back to Stone and didn't flee with her family is because she needed to find the maiden card. It's not on her person.
Oh no.
It's somewhere in the castle. And she probably wants to stop using it because of the side effects.
Yes.
But also with its healing powers, it could really come in handy. So Ione asked Elm if he's going to use the maiden card to heal Hoth now that he knows what it can do.
Mhm.
Like, which is a very loaded question.
Like, hell no.
He hates Hoth, but it's still his brother.
Yes.
And if Hoth heals, he's going to fuck some people up for what happened to him. Like, I'm very sure of it. So while Elspeth is in this hidden part of her mind, she gets visited by the nightmare's children all the time.
Okay.
Like, her memories start coming back to her, and she begs the nightmare to let her out, like, with no response. She knows her family is in danger, in addition to anyone else who helped her along the way.
Mm-hmm.
So Raven and Jesper are set to leave the next morning and look for the Twin Alders card, and Raven goes to retrieve Emery. And, like, it's completely retrieving him. Like, he is so fucking sick. Like, he can't walk. He has to be carried. And I don't feel like he's up for an excursion.
Yeah, no shit.
But Emery is going to go back to his parents' house.
Okay.
Which is, I'm sure, the best place for him.
That's where I want to go when I'm feeling sick, is Mom's house.
That's where I do go. So Raven accidentally touches Emery as he's helping him dress, and Emery goes into a kind of trance.
Oh, yeah, because when he touches people, he can see things.
Yes. So he says, the dark bird has 3 heads, highwayman, destrier, and another, one of age, of birthright. Tell me, Raven, you, after your long walk in my wood, do you finally know your name? Okay. Sounds very Nightmare Riddly. So remember, Emery's magic is that whenever he touches people, he gets insight into them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not that I have any idea what that means. So Jesper takes Emery to Castle U. So I feel like that's a good stopping point for us to resume next week in our story of Two Twisted Crowns. You know, just hang in there. This is the beginning. They're still kind of setting everything up, but I think it's going to get pretty fucking exciting here in a little bit.
I'm just very anxious to see where all this goes. Like, the love interest, is Elspeth coming back? Is Raven going to be hot for his whole life? Like, things like that.
Are Elm and Ione only going to, like, you know, fall into deep, mad love?
Is Ione going to get ugly again? Like, I need to know these things.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll see y'all later. Bye.
Bye, fuckers. Thank you for listening. Please leave us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify.
Go like and subscribe to our channel on YouTube, join our Facebook group, and follow us on Instagram.
The links to everything are available in the show notes.
And 5 stars only. If you have anything less, please turn your phone off and mind your business. Bye, fuckers.